Being too cold is an easy way to ruin an outdoor experience in the winter. Fieldsheer is one company working to keep adventurers warm with their mobile warming lineup of battery-powered heated gear. And I got my hands on the Pinnacle Parka jacket as well as the Desert Storm heated gloves. So let's dive in and take a look at some of the features, some of the benefits, and then some of my experiences while using these items as well. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and I'm keeping nice and toasty this winter with this Fieldsheer gear that we're going to take a look at. Now, Fieldsheer has an extensive lineup of gear for outdoor use. They have everything from this Parka jacket, which is kind of their top of the line, to heated gloves. They also have vests and sweatshirts and base layers and socks, and just a huge extensive lineup, for whatever your needs are. Now, they do come at a bit of a premium price as well. Don't expect these to be, budget items, but besides even just the heated aspect of it, Fieldsheer packed some really nice features into these items. So first off, let's talk about the $170 Desert Storm heated gloves. First off, on sizing, I don't have really large hands. I usually go for a large sized glove, and so I went with the large for the Fieldsheer, and it's a pretty snug fit. I would maybe consider going for extra large, but I do think a large was still the best option. And in most of their sizing guides for everything, from their gloves to their jackets, Fieldsheer states that most of their products run a little bit small. So if you are in between sizes, you usually want to opt for the larger size. So other gloves in their lineup use different heating patterns. For the Desert Storm, they have little heating elements which are on the outsides of each finger as well as the thumb. And then to power those heating elements, there is this little pouch down here which you can unzip, and I already have the batteries installed. You can pull these out, and it's a split battery, which Fieldsheer says that makes it easier to kind of distribute the weight across your wrists, so you can kind of move those around in the pocket a little bit. But then there's just a barrel connector. This part is always connected to the glove, and so when you do have a fresh battery and you're ready to go with it, so all you do is just plug it in and then slip the batteries into the pouch, and it will automatically power on. And the way you can tell is that there is this little Velcro flap which hides the button. So this is kind of like a multi-purpose button. You can see here it's glowing red, and if you single press the button, it will cycle through 4 different colors. So here it's kind of a yellowish orange, and then we have green and blue, and those signify the different power levels. So red, the default, that's the highest level, that's the warmest, and then it goes down from that. So orange, green, and then blue is the lowest. And then pressing and holding that button for 3 seconds will power the gloves off if you want to leave the batteries in there and want to save some of that battery. And as you could imagine, the different power levels will affect the battery level differently. So with a fully charged battery on the highest level heating, you can expect to get about 2 hours of that maximum heat. Down on the lowest setting, the 25%, you can expect to get up to about 8 hours. And I'll talk a little bit about my experiences with those, in some real world conditions here in a minute. And besides just the heated features of this, overall, I've been really happy with these gloves so far. They also have some other great technical features. There's a touchscreen compatible material on the tip of each pointer finger, so you don't need to remove the gloves to interact with your phone. And the pointer fingers also feature a rubber screen cleaning blade to wipe away any moisture from your screen. Additionally, the gloves are padded. They feature a large gauntlet design that will cover the cuff of a jacket. They're waterproof and have a reinforced palm. So beyond just the heating aspect of these are a pretty well thought out and designed winter glove. Fieldsheer does carry a dedicated line of gear intended for motorcyclists, but these Desert Storm heated gloves also work pretty well on a motorcycle. I went for an hour-long ride in 40-degree Fahrenheit weather, and the gloves kept my fingers warm the entire time, which made the ride much more enjoyable because operating a motorcycle with frozen hands is just not a very fun time. And to test these a little bit more, I went for a 3-mile walk with these gloves. The weather app said that it was 11 degrees Fahrenheit, and these did a really good job of keeping my hands warm throughout that. I started at the highest heat setting just to kind of like warm up my hands and my gloves, but halfway through that walk, I ended up turning it down a little bit, and then another 15 minutes later, I turned it down to 50%. So did a great job of keeping my hands warm, and I ended up, taking it down from the max power just because my hands were warm enough already that I didn't need any more heat in there. I didn't want to get kind of overheated. And when you are wearing the glove, you can kind of tell where those heating elements are. If you make a fist, you immediately feel a little bit more warmth here on the top of your fingers. But it also still helps to warm, your entire hand while you are wearing it. But yeah, you can definitely tell where that heat is coming from. So $170, can be a lot to pay for a pair of gloves, but with the heating aspect of these combined with all the other features, I think they make a pretty good case for themselves for why they are priced that way. All right, and moving on to the Pinnacle Parka jacket. Like I stated, Fieldsheer carries a lot of different kind of outerwear items, from shirts to vests to sweatshirts to base layers, and then all the way up to this Pinnacle jacket. So this is the top of the line, coming in at $300 $330. And first off, the Pinnacle Parka jacket features 8 different heating zones. So it has 4 in the front, kind of 2 upper and 2 lower. We have 1 on each kind of the upper arm here, not quite the shoulder, not quite the elbow, kind of right in between. And then there are 2 in the back as well. It's also a treated nylon material. I'm sure you can hear it in the in the sound here. Definitely is a little bit noisy when you move. It is that nylon material. That helps to protect you from snow and water, which in my experience has done a pretty good job. And then it does have these snug Velcro enclosures here on the cuffs, so you can make that nice and snug, which helps to keep weather out and also helps to keep warmth in. And then it works perfectly with these kind of gauntlet style gloves because they can just go directly over that cuff there. And all around the jacket are plenty of pockets. We have these 2 kind of vertical zipper pockets up top here. This is where I usually keep my cell phone when I'm wearing this jacket. Then there are 2 kind of field jacket style pockets here. We can slip something down into it, and then you can even kind of go under that from the sides and get into the jacket as well. So if you aren't wearing gloves, this is a great way to keep your hands warm. And in that right bottom pocket is also where the little pouch is that will hold the battery. One interesting feature here is that the Pinnacle jacket also features Bluetooth connectivity. So there is an app you can download, and when you open that up and you pair it to your jacket, which I didn't even have to go into the devices to pair it, just kind of open the app and it'll search for it when you have a jacket on and powered on. But from within that app, it'll just give you battery percentage level, and then also you can change the heating level. So not any extra functionality that you can do, over just physical features of the jacket itself, but you can just do them from your cell phone. There's a power button kind of on your hip on the right side. It's just like the power button on the gloves, so it'll toggle between the 4 different power levels, and then holding it for 3 seconds will turn the jacket power on or off. And taking a look at the battery itself, obviously it's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier than what's in the gloves. I mean, it's heating a few more points in here, and there is a power on off button. So when you are ready to use it, you just hold this power button. It'll give you the battery percentage left, and then once it starts blinking at that 100%, that means it's powered on and ready to go. So at this point, you would just plug it in to the little barrel connector here, plug that into the jacket, and then that's ready to go. But the battery has a couple other nice features to it. So it also has a USB-A port, so you can charge another device from this. If your batteries on your phone is getting too low, you can just plug in a cable here and recharge that. And then it also has an LED light, so you can turn that on if you need a little bit extra help, finding something in the dark. And this is a 12-volt, 5200 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery. And being a Bluetooth connected, powered, heated jacket, you would think that maybe this jacket would look a little bit dorky, but I've also gotten quite a few compliments on the style of it. It doesn't stand out as anything too technical, but it looks like kind of that field jacket design with the large button pockets at the bottom and the upper pockets as well. I'm 6'1" and about 180 pounds, and the large is fitting me just about perfectly. It's not too snug, but also not too loose. This is just about the perfect size for me. And the sleeves are long enough. The jacket itself is pretty long, so that's really nice for winter as well, just to keep the warmth in. And during that same 3-mile walk with the gloves, the Pinnacle jacket kept my upper body plenty warm as well. And I kind of did the same thing where about halfway through I ended up turning down the power because I was plenty warm. I didn't need it to be at max power anymore. And under the jacket I was wearing a t-shirt and a crew neck sweatshirt, but that was about it, and I was plenty comfortable with it at 50% power. Well, I just got back from about a 3-mile hike testing out the Fieldsheer Pinnacle jacket and the Desert Storm heated gloves. And everything worked really well to keep me pretty warm. We're here in northern Indiana. It says it's about 11 degrees, but feels like -4 thanks to the wind chill, which there isn't too much wind, but it's enough to definitely make you a little bit colder. And for about half of that, I had to turn up to max power, but then I was getting warm enough that I ended up turning it down to the 75%. And it was more than enough to keep me warm throughout this entire walk. It was very comfortable. Obviously I have this scarf to help keep my face warm, and it helped, but my face was getting pretty cold and my legs were getting cold, but my upper body kept pretty warm throughout, as well as my hands too. When I had it on max power, it even started to get to the point of feeling a little bit sweaty, so that's why I turned it down. So we can still, with that Bluetooth app, we can check the power of the jacket and see how much battery life it has left. So let's check that real quick. I don't know if you'll be able to see the screen here, but I'm gonna do a screen recording and we'll pop that over top so you can get an idea of that. But it says it's at 38% still. So, and I was walking for a little over an hour, and I had taken it out a little bit before that too. So it probably started at like 90% battery and we're down to this. So I definitely think turning it down to that 75% helped to make the battery, that'll help make it last a little bit longer. But yeah, that'll give you a good idea of what this can do. So far, this has been working really well for me for, being outdoors and not hating winter as much. It really helps to keep me warm. So overall, wrapping up here, if you feel like, you just can't get warm in the winter when you are outside, grabbing a pair of heated gloves or this heated jacket can make a big difference in my experience. I really don't like being, too cold outside. Obviously, when you're running around and being very active, that's one great way to stay warm. But if you're just going for a walk or watching a game or something, maybe you're not being as active, having some heated gear like this really does make a big difference from what I've experienced. All right, and that'll wrap it up for our review of the Fieldsheer Mobile Warming Desert Storm heated gloves and the Pinnacle Parka jacket. Let us know what you think about them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys.